I welcome all dignitaries for attending this FDP from various institutions and our chief guest, Dr. Muruganandam and Dr. Vijay Kumar sir. I hope this FDP will be beneficial for you, all of us. All of us will be greatly beneficial from this OBE and NBA accreditation process, FDP. I request all of you to attend all the 3 days. We'll be giving an attendance form in each day. You have to fill that attendance form for getting certificates after the completion of this workshop, this FTP. By this, let me welcome our dear Dr. Vijay Kumar sir for inaugurating this faculty development program. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, my dear IST members and my colleagues, my IST, Dr. Murugananda and Professor Suber, both the National Council members and all other IST members who are also participating in the FDP program. At the outset, I am very happy that SSM Polytechnic IST faculty chapter has taken the initiative to organize such a program, because nowadays it is rather than mandatory, rather than to know what is OBE or accreditation process. The ICT is slowly tightening its screws so that all institutes gets accredited and the entire process, technical education process, meets its required objective. And IST, as Professor Suber has already told, it's a platform for all the people who are interested in the well-being of the technical education. You need not be a faculty, you need not be an engineering student or faculty polytechnic student. If you have some interest in improving the technical education system, also you can also join it. That is the concept. So this is one of the largest professional body of teachers, students who are interested in the technical education. And it works very well through its chapters at the college level, through the faculty chapter, doing a lot of work in this regard, and organizes FDP programs, webinars, etc., so that the faculty and students gets updated the latest technology as well as the processes. Similarly, we are organizing faculty convention as well as student convention so that it provides a platform for the faculty, also gives opportunities for the students to showcase their talents in the academic as well as other fields also, maybe literary, maybe other fields of activities, even arts, etc., also given prominence. So that an overall development of the student is in the minds of the system or the IST organization. So with these few words, let me go to the task assigned me to in this FDP program. As the title itself says, outcome-based education and NBA or National Board of Accreditation ratings. The ICT as well as the university has modified its syllabus with the objective that we are meeting the requirements prescribed by the ICT as well as the Washington Accord, by which we are supposed to complete the formalities of going for the outcome-based education and was slowly getting accredited by the agencies. So the outcome-based education is a means of focusing and organizing everything in the educational system to know what is essential for students to be able to do successfully at the end of their learning. And we have, our university or the polytechnic system have identified every syllabus or every course with its outcome requirements. Though we are specifying each subject and its outcome, unfortunately, the student doesn't have any freedom to choose the way of learning. The outcome-based education is the emphasis is on the student can learn any subject at his own pace, and the teacher is a facilitator for helping to achieve the goals. Since we have an affiliation system for the universities as well as the even for technical polytechnic also, they have a board of technical education which prescribes the syllabus and which conducts the exams. So what is expected by the outcome-based education, the freedom, flexibility, etc., are not fully met as is expected or as is planned. However, the teachers are reoriented to see that now the teaching is not there, only facilitating the students to learn what is required. The idea is he gets a clarity in his focus. So what is to be studied or what he has to complete or he has to fulfill once he complete the degree program or diploma program. So at least some idea is given to the student. So you are expected to do or know such and such things once you complete the course as well as the program. Though it is not fully met, but still partially we can see that the student as well as teacher is capable to share the experience as well as the knowledge, so that the student is capable of doing certain things which is expected once he completes the 3-year diploma or 4-year degree programs. And slowly we are changing the instruction methods being followed in the classrooms. Though we have not fully changed it, still some flexibility is given to the teachers so that the delivery of the content is made so flexible that the student gets some time to understand things as well as he can practice it. Since it is a time-bound program, the teacher cannot give more time because of we have a fixed time schedule for the academic program as well as the examinations. But still, there is some flexibility which is available if the teacher wishes. So you can make the student confident, we can make the student knowledgeable once if you give availability or chances to present, to show his talent by giving practicals, giving exposure to the topics or to the workshops, etc. So this helps to build up a confidence while facing a situation. Especially in the lab classes, the experiments are so designed, or it is to be designed in such a way that the student gets, or he has to think what is to be done and he has to infer what is to be the outcome, and he has to justify that outcome also. Though such flexibility is not available, still the experiments can be designed in such a way that you give time to the students to present or to conceive the experimental activity and ask or explore what is to be done with the experimental system, what is your expected or what is its application in the practical side. So this can be done if the teacher thinks that, or teacher takes the initiative or takes some risk in explaining such things. Though we have a cycle of experiments, or though we have a syllabus, some flexibility is given to the faculty for taking or adding something which is beyond the syllabus, but that is helpful for the student while coming out of the campus. So that is one thing. Another is we are supposed to assess the student, each individual student separately, because the achievements and the expectations is different for different students. That's where what I said is we are not able to completely meet the what is expected from the OBE. We have a common examination system and we compare it, or we rate the students according to their output or examination performance. Still, what I said is you can do something within the canvas where you have some flexibility where internal marks are being awarded. There you can experiment how your student will performs well. You cannot expect all the 40 or 60 students to perform very well in all the aspects. There may be best students, there may be average students, there may be slow learning or below students. So we have to see that everyone is rated accordingly and they are not being penalized according to his academic performance. So this is what is expected from outcome-based learning. Each individual has a freedom to choose the way of learning as well as performance. So though examinations are quite different, but internally you can make some experiments so that you are there are no comparison among the students, but you are rating the students according to his capability, and you maybe the criteria is giving session marks on the internal marks still. So if he is not performing the series test very well, then meet him or take him to conference and give some additional training so that he is able to come up to the level for others. So maybe 2 to 3 tests you may have to separately conduct him. Maybe the questions has to be slightly different because the difficulty level has to be reduced because each student cannot be expected to perform very well. That doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice the quality or the penalize the higher scoring students. Since it is a comparison, it's a rating, there can be some variation, but still the lower level students cannot be penalized also by giving tough as well as or maybe difficult questions, etc. That is what is normally expected from the outcome-based education. And the student is expected to take up the course with a certain goal of developing skills or gaining knowledge. That is what is expected from the OBE. Since we have some limitations, what we can do is, at least in the final year project, there you give some flexibility. He can choose a topic according to his knowledge or according to his requirement. It may not be correctly fitting to the subject or course he is studying. Give some freedom and he can take the challenge what society is facing. Any problem he can take it and attempt to solve the problem. That guidance or mentoring from the faculty member is required. So this is in general what is expected from the outcome-based education. We have very highly qualified resource persons to give elaborate or take the topics elaborately for you for your understanding as well as practicing also. So I am not mentioning too much on these topics. And the second part is the NBA accreditation process, which is normally preparing the documents rather than the other process. The document preparation is more important in the accreditation basis. So whatever you do, that has to be kept as a record and that has to be shown. So any accreditation process is like that. So this has to be, and that accreditation process is for continuous improvement. So any documentation that will be a basis for you or stepping stone for the improvement. So that's why the regulatory agencies are making it mandatory that you should go for accreditation process. Otherwise, there will not be any systematic improvement. So, even the outcome or even the intake also. Normally, what we say the intake is bad, so the outcome is also good. So that is not the way we have to take the situation. Intake is also is where we don't have any control. But with the intake, we have to modify or we have to suitably redesign our instruction process so that majority of the students gets benefited and they come out with flying colors or come out with the degree which is expected or with the skill what they are expected also after the mandatory 3 to 4 years, etc. So these few words, I'm very happy to be part of you and while inaugurating the 3-day FDP on OBE as well as NBA accreditation process. And I extend my glad to be there, part of the FDP program. And my colleagues as well as Ruananda and the other AS members will be interacting with you and they will be highlighting the various topics in this field, which will be helpful in getting the accreditation as well as in shaping your teaching learning process. So, with these few words, wishing you all the best, and if not late, wishing you a happy new year also. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We have a limited time for the session of Muruganandan sir, and we have to complete another session also. We have here our Honorable Principal Abdul Nasir Kaipanjeri and other faculty members from our Polytechnic College also. Our NBA coordinators, Mr. Pierre and Mr. Ziad, and other faculty members from SSM Polytechnic College. I welcome all faculty members from SSM Polytechnic and other Polytechnic colleges. Once more, there is a technical issue in with this link. Actually, we supposed to enter 500 more participants in this link. Due to some technical issue, we could only 150 participants are here. Another link is shared by Mr. Ziad sir, and YouTube live link is going on. I have shared the link of YouTube live in our FDP WhatsApp group. Let me introduce Muruganandan sir, our today's faculty. He is the Deputy Registrar of Indian Institute of Information Technology, Kalyani, and is looking after the registrar role of IIT Kalyani, Calcutta. He is a mechanical engineering with a doctoral degree, having experience in the engineering education industry for 22 years in academics and more than a decade of in administration. He is one of the subject expert and resource persons of the NBA, approved valuer, machinery planned, and chartered engineer. He's having a big profile. I'm not going to all the details. Anyhow, he's the nominated. He's nominated to serve as Margadarshak mentor to engineering colleges to streamline the SOPs to acquire NBA attached with the ACT Trivandrum regional office. He is a Career Development Alliance certified international certified career coach, and he has been elected as one of the National Executive Council members for the Indian Society for Technical Education for the term 2020-24. He is serving as a program evaluator of the Accreditation Board for Engineering and Technology, ABET, USA. I heartily welcome Dr. Muruganandan to handle our first session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Suber. Extremely, I am delighted to be in front of all the people. I am thankful to the authorities of SSM Polytechnic, Principal, NBA Coordinator, the FDP Coordinator, and my ISTE Kerala Section Chairman, Dr. Vijay Kumar, and other participants from SSM Polytechnic and other polytechnic and engineering colleges. And I seen one or two EC members from other state also. So I am very much thankful. At the presidential address, Dr. Vijay Kumar mentioned ACT, the regulating authority, made mandatory that every college should have acquire minimum 60% of the programs before. Otherwise, the 2IA extension of affiliation will not be given. This is the mandate fixed by the regulating authority ACTE quite long back, and they shifted the target for the past 2+ years. Second thing, when you look the state of Kerala, most of the technocrats, not only grads, every graduates, the candidate wants to move out from the country for making comfortable life, specifically Gulf countries. And past couple of years, Gulf countries also started demanding accredited programs jobs. If you are looking around the countries like US, German, France, it is mandatory for having a getting for long time, more than a decade. In fact, Government of India taken initiative with the starting of National Board of Accreditation quite long back, but it is materialized only in the year of 2014. Only that particular point of time, it become a permanent member of Washington Accord. Because of that, many of the institutes start applying for accreditation. In fact, if you are looking the year 2013, even though the state of Kerala is small, number of institutions are less, but the applicants are huge from Kerala. We used to make a fun way. National Board of Accreditation got life of getting much revenue, mostly from the state of Kerala. 2013, almost 40 plus colleges applied for full accreditation of all their programs, which includes some polytechnics also. But one or other way, they didn't turn for facing the team, and it is extended more than a decade time. Still, some more colleges are in pending. When your coordinator asked me to give a talk as an introductory, then I have chosen this topic, an overview of OBE and NBA parameters. Most of the faculty, I believe, all are from the teaching fraternity gathered here. Most of the faculty, most of the management felt NBA sense it involved lot of clerical work. Outcome-based education is not a new term. It is in our life. If you are looking back our history, this outcome-based education is a main parameter. We are telling lot of things to the students during the admission process. Whatever we are saying will be a solution or a bit of combination of our vision, mission, and curriculum. Whatever we give assurance to the parents, whatever we give assurance to the students, that's what we are doing as a teaching in our class. Whenever we teach, whenever we train, there is a need of some outcome. What is the benefit of my teaching, my training towards the students? To prove that we are conducting examinations. When we conduct examination, we are finding that something is not achieved. In fact, we are keeping a bar as 100% maximum. So always there is a requirement of improvement. Just you rephrase all these terms. Whatever the vision, mission, curriculum is implemented by the faculty and staff, and it is proved with some outcomes by means of some activity. It may be in different level of Bloom's taxonomy, starts from remembering to creation. As our chairman mentioned, since we are all affiliated institute, our questions are not much towards the creation. How much we attained, how much we achieved, what is our target, what is our goal, that's what we are mentioning a term course outcome, program specific outcome, etc. things. Whenever we fix something, definitely as a human, we will say it is not enough. If it is not enough, then we have to definitely improve. If you want to improve, we have to review what is gone wrongly. So, this NBA, this National Board of Accreditation, a part of Washington Accord, representing India, is having some terminologies like PO, PO, PSO, CO, right? What is it? Why it is required? Before this accreditation, do we not utilize these kind of terms in other names at least? Maybe some of you ask. In each state, if you are looking at mechanical engineering, if you are looking at computer science engineering diploma, it is consist of some 6 semesters. Every semester may have 4 theoretical and 2 laboratory courses. So every course is required. What is the benefit of this course if I learn? That is comes as course outcome. If you are learning this course, you may able to do this. That's what we formulated as course outcome. Right? One semester we are having 4 theory and 2 lab courses. Totally you are going to do 6 semester. That 6 semester we are calling as program. If I am learning 6 semester diploma, what I am going to get from this technique, that is called program outcome. If I am learning 6 semesters of this computer science engineering diploma, what I am going to get specifically in terms of computer, that is called program specific outcome. After learning 6 semesters, I will go for higher studies, or I will go for job, or I will become an entrepreneur. Maybe any one of these 3 choices. Okay. After 3 to 5 years of my diploma, how I am, that is called program educational objective. So outcome-based education means we have to fulfill the dreams of our students, our stakeholders. Sir, after 10 years or after 20 years, I want to become a principal of a polytechnic. What I am supposed to do? We are making the base. You do the diploma, go for higher education in this specialization, do research in those parameters, so that you may able to achieve your target. Okay. When you say OBE, outcome-based education, I told vision, mission, PUO, PO, CO, and all. These are all, right, one portion. Whenever we do something, we have to consult. We have to consult with our stakeholder. We should know what is Bloom's taxonomy. Chairman rightly mentioned teaching learning process. We are not able to make 100%, we are just starting. What are the ways we can go for assessing the student? In fact, teaching is a lifelong learning. Even life is also lifelong learning. When I say stakeholder, our major stakeholders like students, parents, faculty, management. Definitely every one of you knows. But in addition to this, we are having a lot of professional bodies like ISTE, ASME, SAE, IEEE, CSI, ACM, ICI, and whatnot, depend upon the specialization of engineering. Industry personnel. The biggest problem industry is saying we are not getting graduate according to our requirements. How we know? Only from our alumni. Alumni has to speak with us, or we have to speak with alumni, so that alumni will explain what they find problem when they gone to the industry for work. What they found problem when they become an entrepreneur. So that we are saying, so that the accreditation agencies are saying, you please discuss with your stakeholders for making any decision. Depend upon the requirements, you can increase, decrease the number of stakeholders for the discussion. I put a sample on the screen. If you want to formulate a department vision mission, it is coming or correlating from your institute vision mission. So this is what a glimpse about stakeholder, right? Then we are talking about this Bloom's taxonomy. I am not telling the story of Bloom's taxonomy. This is the old one. When you come to the new, the RBT, revised Bloom's taxonomy, it is having different 6 levels. Most probably, most of the polytechnic faculty undergone this training in your Kalamasheri NITTR center or your DTE center. But I thought of spending a 10 minutes time on this. When you say Bloom's taxonomy, when you say domains, the cognitive domain, the analyzing, applying, creating, evaluating, remembering, understanding. Yes, we are doing mostly in our theoretical classes. When you come affective domain, characteristic, organizing, receiving, responding, valuing. If you are asking, sir, where we are using this affective domain, how we can go for measuring, this is what we are always asking the college, the students, the management, the faculty to organize something. Various type of programs, techno-cultural programs. If you are allowing the students to do techno-cultural program, then it is easy for us to measure this affective domain. Psychomotor domain, the students has to do some creation, not only organizing program, but technically also. Again, it is a deep process. It requires various stages. It requires different sections also. Then most of the people are finding difficulty by using the Bloom's taxonomy action verbs. If you are looking at the question paper, most of our question papers will start with explain, brief, define. Whether we are keeping equally all the levels in our question paper. In fact, we are supposed to keep the top 3 or 4 levels, not in the first 2 level. Unfortunately, all our question papers are in the level of remember and understanding only. You may ask, sir, Is it not possible to make question paper in higher level of Bloom's taxonomy? I always tell, yes, it is possible. In Polytechnic, even though you are affiliated institute, it is possible. Right? Why I'm saying is you have to eliminate any undue profit seeking like Sony. I don't know how many of you knows this motto of Sony. Sony will eliminate their product. It is not making profit. They will keep the assisting discovery. When we go for teaching, when we go for empowering our students to make creation, then we are a great teacher. Just for a layman understand, I put this drawing. If you are saying Bloom's taxonomy, creation level, making our students similar to this, a fruit having the taste of orange and apple together in a single. Easily we can say, remember, right? By looking the drawing picture itself, we will say, this is so-and-so vehicle. This is so-and-so fruit. The same cadre will be. When we say understand the major characteristics of any item, here I put an example of apple or the origin. When you come the vehicle, we can easily classify 350 of so-and-so model or 350 of so-and-so Thunderbird model. When it comes apply, you are having variety of fruits. When you go for making using fruits in form, they apply some tea or that, we will get the juice. When you apply the vehicle for climbing this hill, if you want to climb this hill with comfortable condition, then you can apply this particular vehicle. When you go for analyzing all the micro characteristics of the particular item. When you say apple, what vitamin, what calcium, and everything. Similar example to vehicles. When you go for evaluate, what is the level of GI required for a human? What is the high level? What is the medium level? Similarly, price for easy understanding. Right. When we go for create, I already told this example in the other way of vehicle. If you are making a supersonic vehicle for travel from one point to another point by using the existing learning training items. So this is a simple way for briefing the Bloom's taxonomy. So I don't believe in taking decisions as right, make them right. So always believe in your ability and efforts. Again, it is spelled out by one of the topmost industrialist, Ratan Tata, when he shifted his nano-car plant from West Bengal to other state due to knowingly or unknowingly we are in teaching fraternity. We taken a decision to continue this job, make this job as a perfect one. Believe your ability and efforts so that you can easily get success. So when you ask National Board of accreditation process, if any college wants to get accreditation, the college has to register their credentials in nbaind.org website. That is a ENBA portal. That is called initial stage. Once you register, you will be given username and password. For registering, you require AICT approval, DT approval till date. You require principal details. You require coordinator detail. Once you register, you will be given username and password. That is initial stage. Second thing, pre-assessment stage. You have to apply for accreditation of programs. You can apply maximum 5 programs in a single application. You can apply 1 to 5 maximum. You have to fill the pre-qualifier. You have to pay 10% of accreditation fee. Once you complete, they will validate and they will to fill self-assessment report, enter all the details of SAR, pay the remaining 90% fee, then submit SAR, submit visit dates. You have to give 3 to 5 set of visit dates. Visits will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. No other days. Friday must be working day for students. Monday also preferable to have students working day. Sunday is required only for the particular program faculty, HOD, and authorities. Then comes assessment stage. NBA will constitute visiting team. They will communicate to you. They will visit. Preparation committee. If they find anything to be modified, it will go to EAC, that is Evaluation and Accreditation Committee. And finally, subcommittee of Academic Advisory Committee will initially set the institute as to register. If you want to register, the cost is 1 lakh rupee plus this as on the date 18% GST, goods and service tax. So for registration, you require all copy, all the deeds soft copy, ID or trust. If it is a government, the government contact programs. The maximum amount for 5 programs is 8 lakh plus 18% GST. SCA, MBA, hotel management are all comes maximum of grants. Only for the diploma programs, second program onwards, per program it is 1.5 lakh. Remaining all programs, every program will carry 2 lakh each. After accreditation result, if you are finding something gone wrong and you want to make an appeal, then the appeal fee amount is 1,50,000 rupee per program plus 18% GST. So this is what regarding the fees. How we can pay? The mode of payment, institution is required to pay the fee, registration or accreditation or appeal, everything through the registered eNBA portal through net banking, credit card or NEFT RTGS. Here you are required to have the data of your trust or society or the institute, GST number, PAN number, etc. things. This is regarding the mode of payment. So is there any refund policy? Yes. Closing, disposing of the application submitted by the institution due to the institution not responding to NBA's communication. So initially I paid 10%, then I submitted SAR and I paid SAR. The visit also fixed, but the institute is not ready to face the inspection. Institute is requesting to cancel or postpone the visit. There, 20% of the total amount will be taken by the NBA. When you go for the next time, you have to pay the 35%, then only they will fix the visit set. So this is about the refund policy. So where can I get all the documents? Whether I consult, whether any external agency support for implementing the outcome-based education in my institute for applying the accreditation? Definitely no. You can visit nbaind.org website. There is a download link where the documents are available for the diploma, degree, MBA, MCA, post-graduation. It starts from user assessment report and how the evaluators are going to evaluate and award mark. I hope you people remember I given a parameter assessment. When we go for conducting examination, serious test, semester exam test, you have to tell the student if you are right. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No.
Okay.
Oh, yes, sir. No issue.
So we have to have a written document similar to the answer script of the student, which secures 100 out of 100. So NBA is also made such a evaluation guideline, evaluation report. What the institute or the program is to do for acquiring the maximum mark. Right. So when I said that NBA, sir, my college is having say 7 programs in diploma. Am I eligible for apply all the 7 programs? If anybody asks, then you have to check this. First one, whether that particular program approved by AICTE for the last 5 years, including the current academic year. If it is approved for 5+ years, it is eligible, right? Whether that particular program, computer science engineering diploma program, admission for the last 3 academic years in Polytechnic, please note carefully, not current academic year. Last 3 academic years, average 50% plus admission. If it is there, you are eligible. Student faculty ratio. For Polytechnic, 1:30. If you are going for electrical and electronics engineering, there the student faculty ratio should not exceed 1:30. It should be below 1:30. In case of engineering and other colleges, it is 1:25. Minimum 2 batches should be passed out. It is very simple. The first category, if you are satisfying, approval for the ACT last 5 years is available for electrical and electronics engineering means diploma is having only 3 year period of time. So definitely 2 batches already passed out. If any of your program meets this criteria, then you are eligible for facing NBA accreditation. This is what pre-qualifier. Essential question. What is desirable? Whether your diploma program is having HOD. I believe you people know what is the qualification required for HOD in diploma. When it comes in engineering and other colleges, the HOD is mandatory, but they should have PhD. Then, Program Assessment Committee, Quality Improvement Committee available in your department or not. This is what we people are saying, that clerical work. Then comes budget. Every year budget, are we earmarking fund for our laboratories, computational, in terms of maintenance, in terms of upgradation? By looking the budget itself, they can understand. This is not mandatory but desirable. Admission in the last 3 academic years, 60 and above. These 4 parameters are desirable pre-qualifier in diploma category. Right? Okay, we applied for the first, we registered in the ENBA. After registering in ENBA, they given user name credentials, that is login name and password. We enter the details in connection with pre-qualifier. We paid 10% payment so that they open the self-assessment report portal. When you say self-assessment report portal, in case of diploma category, it is classified into 2. One is program level criteria. Second one is institute level criteria. When you check program level criteria, it is again classified vision, mission, PEOs, curriculum, and teaching learning process. When I say curriculum, in case of diploma, DT is providing a syllabus, and you people will also make content beyond the syllabus. And how you are going to deliver the content, that comes under the category of teaching learning process. Then comes course outcomes, program outcomes. I just given the definition of COs and POs. Hope in the next session, the coming expert from GEC Kozhikode may brief you. After delivering all these contents, how our students are performing in terms of examinations, in terms of various activities inside, outside college during 3-year period of time. That is student performance. How our faculty are capable, how our faculty improved their qualification by attending FDPs, by writing a project proposal, by doing projects, by doing consultancy, by giving external talk in different places, etc., will come in faculty information and contributions. Then comes the staff, lab staff, various lab facilities, infrastructure facilities, comes facilities and technical support. By looking at the previous 6 parameters over the past 3 years, the evaluators or even ourselves can understand how we are improving, whether our improvement is continuous hike or ups and downs. It should be continuously high. So every topic is having individual mark. No need of worrying about anything. If you are losing 1 point, for example, I used to hear like, sir, in our college there is no hospital, doctor, ambulance. Yes, sir, it is not there. It is having only 1 mark, right? It is defined by 1 or 2 mark. For getting 1 or 2 mark, management may not interest to spend, say, 10 lakhs to 20 lakhs, right? So we have to prioritize. When it comes to the institute level, the student support systems, governance, institutional support, the financial resources, it is a matter of only 125 mark out of 1000. But 875 marks comes from the particular department. It is purely in the hand of faculty only. From the management, of course, this 125 mark will come. Right. We entered all the available data. We collected all the evidences. Right. Now we are ready for facing the evaluators fixed by the National Board of Accreditation. So while they come, definitely we are supposed to showcase our various collection of records. Here the problem people will always ask, we started NBA accreditation term only 3 months back. That's what Professor Subair mentioned during his talk. But NBA is asking for the last 3 to 5 years document. What can I do? Some faculty already left. Where can I go for course file? Students are all in abroad or other than my place. Even some of the students change their mobile and mail ID. How can I get their participation certificate? These are all generic issues in every institute. My dear friends, this is called the standard operating procedure. NBA is also knows well. Yes, if an institute goes on first time, definitely they are struggling to gather all the past documents. But in the second cycle, at least you start keeping the evidences, at least from now, so that when you go to the second cycle, this process will not be considered as a clerical work. I am saying a simple example. In engineering aspect, the Kerala Technological University made a wonderful thing, point system. If a student go for participating in a project competition, he will come up with a certificate. At the end of semester, based on the number of participation, there will be a mark given to the student. Ultimately, student want a good mark. If you are asking them to submit the participations or whatever the certificates, whatever the documents, and if you are providing a portion of mark in our internal, definitely it is not at all a clerical work. We have to make the system. Please don't do any work towards NBA. Tomorrow night will come. After some years, ABET will come. Don't do work for accreditation. Please make your college system as a systematic. Maybe the system may require several iterations of alternations. We may miss something this time. Once you find this is required to make modification, you put an amendment and implement for the next time. Right? So when I say these kind of things, I thought of sharing this Kubler-Ross change curve. Even this particular FDPR sessions, some of you may reach here because of the compulsion. Some of you reached because of submitting requirement of certificate. Many people will say, oh my God, it came to finally Polytechnic also in a shock condition. Whatever you say, it won't work, sir. Maybe time being I will do. In a denial, somebody may in the anger, somebody may say, can you leave me? In a bargaining, what can I do? My life is like this. In a depressed mode, but very few people are in acceptance. Friends, life is also like that only. We have to overcome all these situations. If anybody reaches to the final stage, that is acceptance and problem solving, then the person is always a winning person. This is what the proved one. That's what Kubler-Ross made this change curve, change management model several decades back. Right? Since my time is very limited, I am not going. I am ending up with only one thing, vision statement. If you want to formulate your vision statement, should reflect your dream, your hope, your thought, your direction, your aim, your inspiration. For example, I am saying the Abdul Kalam's vision of 2020 to create the largest community of socially, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially rich. It is a qualitative statement, no quantitative. By reading itself, people can understand what I am intending. No need of any support to explain what it is. No hard and fast words incorporated in this vision statement. One more example I want to say. One minute. I think it is not there. Okay. I always tell this example in connection with Mullaipperiyar Dam, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Safety for Kerala, water for Tamil Nadu. This is a qualitative statement. Very simple word, less number of words, no need of any support. If you want to make mission, shortest, middle term, long term strategy. Immediate, reduce and stabilize the water level. Evacuate people from the area, educate people from the society, long term, construct roller concrete dam. So, from your vision, mission itself, the persons coming to your institute will easily identify, are you really implemented OBE or you just made documents for the purpose of getting the accreditation papers. As Walt Disney mentioned, all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. I strongly believe everyone is having that courage. Before winding up, I want to share my philosophy of career, transforming student engineers into practicing engineers, family first, student always. Of course, my family includes ethics and environment. With this, I wind up my session. We can meet later if there is any other possibilities. For this, I have these references of NBA, ABET, NPTEL, ACE, IUCE, GEDC, IFES, and WIF. In future, if you want to make any collaborative work in terms of the emerging technologies like IoT, blockchain, or my home, the solar or other renewable energy sources with materials, or the education that is purely engineering education research, you may contact me over the contact details as posted on your screen. Thank you for your patient listening. Since I have the limited time, I am not able to make any brief things. We hope we will meet you later. All the materials, images used in this presentation are copyrighted to their respective owners and are used for only educational purpose. Thank you all. Over to the coordinator.
Thank you very much, sir, for the wonderful session. It was really informative, and we got a brief overview of about NBA accreditation and OBE. Thank you very much from SSM Polytechnic and from all the participants. Thank you, and also from ISD. Sir, Dr. Murugandan, sir, is also my colleague in National Institute Council. It's proud to get Dr. Murugandan as a resource person here. Okay, with the consent of all dignitaries and our principal, Dr. Professor Abdul Nasir Kaipanjeri, let me invite our next faculty, Professor Abdul Rauf. He is a professor in Civil Department at Calicut Government Engineering College, former HOD of Civil Department at Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Technology, Kottayam, also examination controller at Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Technology. Now he is the NBA coordinator of Civil Department at Calicut Government Engineering College, former HOD of Civil Department at Jubilee Engineering College, and BUT accreditation work. He has led BUT accreditation work in. Okay, so running short of time, let me invite Professor Abdul Rauf for the mapping of outcome. Really interesting session. I request all participants to fill the attendance format which is already given in your chat box in 2 Google Meets. Actually, there are 2 Google Meets are going on at the same time. Once again, I welcome Rauf sir, Abdul Rauf sir for the session. Thank you. Rauf sir. He was there. Let me check. Okay, sir. Mute ആണോ Rauf sir? What happened? I think there is a technical issue with Abdul Rauf sir. Just a minute, we can wait.
പ്രൊഫസർ സംസാരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്, പക്ഷെ എന്തോ ഒരു ടെക്നിക്കൽ ഇഷ്യൂ ആണ്. ഒന്ന് ലീവ് ചെയ്ത് വീണ്ടും ജോയിൻ ചെയ്താൽ മതിയാവും തോന്നുന്നു.
Okay. Rauf sir, ഒന്ന് ലീവ് ചെയ്തിട്ടൊന്ന് ജോയിൻ ചെയ്യാമോ? ഓക്കെ, ലെറ്റ്സ് വെയിറ്റ് ഫോർ സം മോർ ടൈം. ഓക്കെ. പ്രൊഫസർ ജോയിൻ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്.
സംസാരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്, പക്ഷെ എന്തോ ഒരു പ്രശ്നം തോന്നുന്നുണ്ട് അല്ലെ?
അതെ അതെ അതെ. വേറെ ആർക്കും പ്രശ്നമില്ലല്ലോ അല്ലേ? ഓക്കെ അല്ലേ? ഞാനത് ഹോസ്റ്റ് ആക്കി കേട്ടോ.
മറ്റൊരു ഡിവൈസ് കയറാന്ന് പറയുന്നുണ്ട്.
ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ, ഞാൻ സാറിനെ ഹോസ്റ്റ് ആക്കിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. ചെയ്യാം. അവിടുത്തെ നെറ്റിന്റെ പ്രശ്നമായിരിക്കും.
I think you have a network issue here.
Next resource person, Abdul sir.
സ്ക്രീൻ ഷെയർ ആണോ പല്ലോ?
അല്ല സാർ, ഷെയർ ആയിട്ടില്ല.
സിയാദ് ഉണ്ടോ ലൈനില്?
സിയാദ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു സാറേ.
എന്തെങ്കിലും ഇഷ്യൂ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ സോൾവ് ചെയ്യാൻ.
Yes sir.
എന്താ ഇഷ്യൂ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞോ? യു ഹാവ് എനി സൊല്യൂഷൻ?
സാറിന്റെ ഡിവൈസിന്റെ തന്നെ പ്രശ്നമായിരിക്കും.
സ്ക്രീൻ ഷെയർ ആയിട്ടില്ലേ? എന്റെ ജസ്റ്റ് വൺ സെക്കൻഡ്.
ഓക്കെ സാർ. ഇപ്പോ
ഓക്കെ സർ റെഡി.
റെഡി ആയല്ലോ? റെഡി ആയിരിക്കും സാർ.
ഓക്കെ, ചെറിയൊരു ലാഗ് ഉണ്ടെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു അല്ലേ?
yes sir, start ചെയ്യാം.
No lag, no lag. It's okay.
Okay, right, fine. So good evening all. I was asked to give a brief on how we can map course outcome with program outcome effectively. That was the task given to me. And I was also asked to give a briefing on how to write a course outcome. I think most of the participants here, they would have already started the process of writing SAR, writing course outcome and things like that. So probably I may not explain it very in detail, but still Before I go to COPO mapping, it is mandatory to have a briefing on course outcome. This diagram will be very familiar with uh, all participants. This represents the key constituents of outcome based education. So we are doing all these exercises to achieve a vision, to attain a vision. Uh, so the first thing we have to do is we have to define a very clear, achievable vision, and all our program outcomes. Uh, Through the program outcome, we should achieve our vision. That is the whole OB process. Now, program outcome we are achieving through various course outcomes. Okay, I'm not going to the detailed explanation of this chart, but this is the in a nutshell, this is the entire OB process. Now, we have various domains of learning: uh, cognitive knowledge domain, psychomotor skills domain, and affective or feeling domain. The cognitive domain is demonstrated by knowledge in 6 levels. Psychomotor skills are demonstrated by physical skills, which is in 5 levels. And the feeling domain is demonstrated by behaviors in 5 levels. Now, when we define an outcome or a course outcome, depending upon the type of the courses or type of the program, the course outcomes will be aligned along any of these three domains. For example, see, when we go for postgraduate program, most of the courses will be on knowledge domain. And when we go for a graduate program, let us say a 25% of the outcomes, 20 to 25% of the outcome will be on psychomotor skills, because they'll be doing a lot of laboratories, and but it will be more oriented on theoretical studies. So a 25% of the course outcomes will be oriented towards knowledge domain. And when we go for diploma level, the psychomotor domain that will increase, maybe probably we can say around 30% or 40% will be on psychomotor skills, and 60% will be on cognitive domain. Whereas when we go for ITA education, it will be more on psychomotor skills, maybe 70% on psychomotor skills, and 30% maybe, or maybe even less than that, 10 to 20% on knowledge domain, and 90 to 80 to 90% on psychomotor skill domain. Now, mostly in our technical education, a few percentage of the course outcomes will be on feelings domain. Nowadays, the importance of the affective or feeling domain is increasing, and probably we are adding more courses on this in our curriculum about the feeling domain. The cognitive domain, it is assessed, it is characterized, it is assessed by this Bloom's taxonomy. So it has got 6 levels. The base level is remembering, and the topmost level is creating. So it starts from remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, and evaluating. Whereas for skills domain, we use Dave's taxonomy, which starts with imitation and goes to naturalization. Imitation means in the first instance, at basic level of the skills domain is to imitate somebody, and second level is to manipulate what he has done it. They will be manipulating it and things like that. And finally, we have Krathwohl's taxonomy for affective domain, starting from receiving end to the characterization by a value set. Now, as far as diploma program is concerned, there are 7 program outcomes. Probably we will, when we touch mapping, I will discuss more about this. Now, let me brief about course outcome. Now, what's a course outcome? A course outcome is what the students will be able to do at the end of study of the course. So when a student do a course, when he learn a course, what he'll be able to do at the end of the study of the course. Now, normally each course will have 4 to 6 course outcomes, and these COs for different courses contributes to the attainment of POs, as it was very clear from the diagram. And statement of COs should be simple sentences, and they shall be measurable. We'll be using Bloom's taxonomy for defining and for course outcome, and for designing the assessment tools for course outcome. Now, what are the characteristics of course outcome? So, course outcome has they describe 2 things. One is what faculty members want students to know at the end of the course. Similarly, and what faculty members want the students to be able to do at the end of the course. So, a course outcome will contain these 2 things. The students will be knowing something, and the students will be able to do something. So, all our CO definitions will be based on these 2 things. Now, normally, a learning outcome will be having 3 major characteristics. One is they specify an action by the students that is observable. So, a course outcome that specify an observable activity from the part of the student. They should be able to demonstrate something so that we can observe how do they demonstrate. Second thing is that shall be measurable. And thirdly, it should the specify an action that is done by the students rather than by the faculty members. So it is students oriented. It should come from the students. Now, why we should develop course outcome? The first thing is that identifying an effective way to review curriculum and content. See, when we develop a course outcome, we get a chance, faculty members get a chance to review the curriculum, content of the curriculum before we start. For writing the course outcome, one should very thoroughly understand what are the content of the curriculum and how it is oriented. Okay, so this will lead to a more balanced and well sequenced curriculum and a well sequenced delivery also. So we know what part of the curriculum shall be stressed in the beginning, and probably we can change the sequencing of the curriculum also. Now, it is effective in designing appropriate assessments. So, when we when we define a course outcome, that course outcome makes our assessments very effective and very appropriate. Now, before we go to the class, before we go to the first class for a particular course, the teachers, they know what the students are expected to learn out of this course. And teachers are easily able to evaluate effectiveness of their teaching. See, actually, what we have to do is we have to understand whether the outcomes have been achieved by the students. If the outcomes are achieved by the students, then we can say we are a successful teacher. Our teaching was very effective, rather than the students learning or students memorizing or by hearting certain equations, or they will be able to reproduce. We have solved some problem in the class, and they are able to reproduce the same problem in the examination. Rather than that, whether they have achieved the outcome, that way we can evaluate the effectiveness of our teaching. Now, a shift normally in the traditional way of traditional way of teaching learning process, we concentrate on teaching. The main stress was on teaching, what we are going to teach the students. Whereas in the OB perspective, it is what the students are learning that is being stressed. Now, students will know exactly what they are expected to learn or what skills are expected to achieve in each course. Because for a student, if we read the syllabus before we uh, s- before they start a course, probably they may not understand anything from the syllabus. But the outcomes they are designed, they are defined in a very simple sentence. And when the students read the outcome, they know that when we do this course, what they will achieve or what outcomes they can produce, what they can do at the end of the course. For example, probably when we do this course, we'll be able to take measurements in the field, or we'll be able to design a building, or we will be able to design a machine, things like that. And students take more responsibility for their own learning, because when they understand what is expected from them, so they take more responsibility. Now, traditional teaching learning process, the process is all teacher centered, whereas in OBE perspective, it is more student centered. The students has to take initiative, so they are learning. The teachers become just a facilitator, facilitate their learning. Now, before we write course outcome statements, how we should prepare ourselves to write a course outcome, an effective course outcome. Let me give some basic ideas from my experience. The first thing we have to uh, think is what information or content you need to do you want the students to learn from your course. That information you should have. What content, uh, what content do you want the students to learn from the course? So, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Just a call, but it's not the function. ഇല്ലല്ലോ?
ഇല്ല ഇല്ല ഓക്കെ
So before we start writing a course outcome, first we have to understand, we have to think what information or content do we want our students to learn from the course. That idea. Now, what do you want them to do with that information? Suppose we give the students some information. What the students are going to do with the information? And thirdly, what skills or competencies do you want them to learn or develop? What kinds of higher level thinking do you want them to engage in? So this is very important. What kinds of higher level thinking do you want them to engage in? So this is very important. Please make a note of this. This will I'll explain in a later slide. Now, how do you expect the students to demonstrate what they have learned and how well they have learned it? What should students know and what should they be able to do when they finish the course? And how do you think they will be able to use the information and skills that they have developed? And if someone asks the students at the end of the course, what you have learned in your course, suppose you have taught them something or you have taught them this or analysis. Because at the end of the course, if somebody asks the students what you have learned from this course, then the students will give some answer. Okay, so what is your expectation? What answers the students should give? So accordingly, you should be able to write the course outcome. And finally, what are the POs you aim to map? What are the POs you aim to map with this particular CO? So these are all the points we have to think before we start writing the course outcome. Of course, we have to use the Bloom's taxonomy or Dave's taxonomy, etc., depending upon what type of skills we are going, what type of knowledge domain we are going with the particular course outcome is. Of course, that we can have, but this gives a general idea. So when you have a clear idea about these points, you can very easily write a very good course outcome. Now, to define a course outcome, first what we have to do is you have to identify various skills and knowledge that a student can achieve on the course, and arrange these skills in the order of levels as in Bloom's taxonomy. Use the most appropriate action verb to describe the skill and write the course outcome. So this is what when you write a course outcome. For example, let us say we are writing a course outcome for surveying for surveying. Then a surveying that consists of three types of measurement: linear measurement or horizontal measurement, vertical measurement, and angular measurement. That's what the students learn in surveying course, and they should be able to probably measure, calculate the distance, because if it is a practical course, they will be measuring the distance. But if it's a theoretical course, they will be calculating various type of distance like horizontal, and they should be able to estimate or calculate the distances. These are the skills they get from a survey course. So if we can identify these skills, and these skills shall be written in the order of levels in the Bloom's taxonomy, and use appropriate action verb to describe the course outcome. Now, in assessments of course outcome, how we can assess course outcome in OBE? In OBE, in fact, the curriculum, we use a design down process. That is, we have the program outcome at the top. From program, based on program outcome, write the course outcome. Based on course outcome, we have to design the individual learning experience. Okay, so from program outcome, we have to design the course outcome. From the course outcome, we have to design the individual learning experience. Now, what we are doing is, we have the given curriculum. From curriculum, we define the course outcomes, and these course outcomes are mapped to program outcomes. In fact, when we implement outcome-based education, 100% we implement outcome-based education, what we have to do is, the curriculum shall be designed based on program outcomes. Okay, so that's the process. So when we design the OBE structure, we are going in this way. Whereas when we assess, when we conduct the assessments in OBE, we are going in the reverse direction. Okay, we have the individual learning experience. From individual learning experience, we assess the course outcome. From course outcomes, we assess the program outcome. Okay. Now, from this background, I go to COPO mapping. How we can do COPO mapping? See, in fact, I have seen many teachers, especially those who are newly introduced to OBE, they find it very difficult to map COs with POs. The basic problem is that POs, they represent fairly high level general goals that are not directly measurable. So POs are not directly measurable. POs are their level is very high, and they are general goals, and it cannot be directly measurable. Whereas COs are directly measurable. Listen, COs, we have to write COs as measurable COs. So we have to map these measurable COs with POs that cannot directly measured. And COs, they are very specific goals of a particular course, whereas POs are high-level generic goals. So because of this difference, we find it very difficult to map COs with POs. Okay. Now, so that's why a real observability and measurability of the POs at course level is very difficult, and that makes the mapping of COs with PO very difficult. Okay. So to make it effective, what we have to do is, the program outcomes shall be split into so many, what we can say is competencies. These competencies shall be observable, that shall be measurable. Okay, and this, when we split POs to these competencies and performance indicators, what we do is we make POs much more understandable. Okay, we'll see how we can do that. So to connect high-level learning outcomes, program outcomes with the course outcome assessment, there is a necessity to bring further clarity and specificity to program outcomes. So program outcomes shall be very clearly understood, and specificity that should be very specific. Okay. So when we do that, this mapping become very simple. So this can be achieved through the following two-step process of identifying competencies and performance indicators. So what we do is the next slide we will see how we can divide, how we can split each POs. POs is a very complex compound statement. Okay, so how we can split these POs to various competencies so that it has got two purposes. One is that become understandable. Okay, that becomes very clear, that becomes very observable, and that becomes very measurable. Okay, that is one thing, and this process makes the CO to PO mapping somewhat easy. Now, how we can bring clarity to POs? There is a two-step process. One is we have to identify the competencies to be attained from each POs, and for each of these competencies, what are the performance indicators? Now, competencies means these are the competencies we want our students to achieve. These competencies include abilities implied by program outcome statement. Program outcome statement, it includes lot of maybe 2, 3, or 4 a number of competencies. Okay, and these abilities might require different assessment and measures. Now, performance indicators are for each of these competency, how can assess whether they have achieved that competencies. That is called as performance indicators. Okay. Now, PIs are explicit statements of expectations of students learning. Okay, what the students are supposed to learn, and they can act as measuring tools in assessment to understand the extent of attainment of outcomes. So when we have this strategy of uh, dividing POs to competencies, and these competencies further to performance indicators, what we have in our hand is we have an excellent tool for designing our assessment. Now what we have is we have just what we say we have just some tests and some assignments. That's all. When we follow this strategy, probably we can bring in different types of assessment which are most suitable for assessing the course outcomes. For example, let us say, okay, we have program outcomes. From that, we define competencies to be attained, and from competencies, we define the performance indicators, and based on performance indicators, we design the assessment. Let us say we have one program outcome. This program outcome will be divided into a number of competencies. Depending upon the complexity of program outcomes, we may have 2, 3, 4, or 5, even more competencies. Now, to each of these competency, we attach performance indicators. Okay. Now, based on these performance indicators, we define what do you say? Our assessments. Maybe we define the project lab assignment project lab rubrics, or assignment rubrics, or end semester examination questions, continuous internal assessment evaluation assessment questions, etc. So this is the thing what we are going to do. For example, as an example, the first program outcome is apply knowledge of basic mathematics, science, and engineering fundamentals, and engineering specializations to solve engineering problems. This is our first. Normally, what we do is the title of the program outcome is basic and discipline specific knowledge. The people normally what teachers do is, okay, this is about knowledge. So when the students have knowledge of mathematics, knowledge of science, or knowledge of engineering fundamentals, or civil engineering specialization, when they have knowledge, probably that particular CO can be mapped to PO number 1 at a level of 3. For example, let us say the student should be able to describe what do you say Bernoulli's theorem. or the students should be able to describe the fundamental characteristics of soil. Let us take the example of geological engineering. One CO is the student, they will be able to explain the fundamental engineering properties of soil. Normally, when we have such a CO, we map that CO with a level of 3 to this program outcome 1. But that is not correct, because this PO states that they should be able to apply the knowledge of basic engineering or basic mathematics, science, etc. to solve an engineering problem. Just having a knowledge is not sufficient. The students may have knowledge, but are they able to apply this knowledge to solve an engineering problem? If they are able to apply it, that particular CO can be mapped at a level of 3 to this particular program outcome 1. So that's it. Now let us say how we can divide this PO number 1 to different competencies. It can be, they should be able to demonstrate competence in mathematical modeling, and they should be able to demonstrate competence in basic sciences. They should be able to demonstrate competence in engineering fundamentals, and they should be able to demonstrate competence in civil engineering knowledge to the program. Civil engineering knowledge, they should be able to demonstrate competence in civil engineering. That is this program outcome 1. Now, the question is how they can demonstrate competence in mathematical modeling. They can demonstrate competence in mathematical modeling only if they are able to apply the knowledge of mathematics, basic knowledge of basic mathematics. When they are able to apply the knowledge of basic mathematics to solve engineering problems, then only we can say they are able to demonstrate their competence in mathematical modeling. Similarly, they should be able to demonstrate competence in basic sciences. Even if they are not able to apply, they should know how to apply. That way also it is possible. Okay. Now, the performance indicators, how we can define, probably we can say apply mathematical techniques such as calculus, linear algebra, etc. to solve problems, to solve engineering problems. Or other indicators, the second indicator is they should be able to apply advanced mathematical technique to model and solve engineering problems. So this can be taken as the performance indicators to indicate this particular competency. Okay, now let us take the course of fluid mechanics. Let us take the course of fluid mechanics. Let us take the course of fluid mechanics. In fluid mechanics, we use number of calculus, like let's say, a lot of partial differential equations, ordinary differential equations to model fluid flow, and we solve engineering problems from that. So probably, if a course have that particular learning outcome, then we can map that particular course outcome to PO1 at a higher level. Similarly, to demonstrate the competence in basic sciences, they should know how to apply the laws of basic science to engineering problems. And to demonstrate the competence in engineering fundamentals, they should be able to apply the fundamental engineering concepts to solve engineering problems. And to apply the demonstrate competence in specialized engineering knowledge to the program, they should apply specialized engineering concepts to solve engineering problems. So like this, we should be able to split each POs to a number of competencies, and each competencies to each competency we attach performance indicators by which we can assess whether they are able to demonstrate this particular competence. Now, to practically do the mapping, what I'll do is I will just put off this screen. I will share a different screen. Let me demonstrate how we can use this competency and indicators, this setup, to use it for our COPO mapping. 1 second. I will demonstrate I will share a Excel sheet now. Which we have developed in our department for COPO mapping. It's taking time to. Is the screen visible now?
It's okay,
No,
sir.
sir. Yeah. Can you see? Okay. It's okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. Now I had asked Jasir to share me one CO definition used by them for their particular course, and he gave me this. Hello.
We can hear.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. Audible.
He gave me this particular course. I think this is course outcome for fluid mechanics. So the first course outcome is explain fluid properties and pressure measurement techniques. Apply conservation laws to fluid flow over notches and through pipes and orifices, and comprehend the power hydraulics technology. Describe pneumatic system and design of circuits. This is what is given by him. Now let us see how we can use this particular method of dividing POs to competencies and attaching indicators to do a particular COPO mapping. Now, is it readable? വളരെ ചെറുതായി പോയ സംശയം വായിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നത്
കുഴപ്പമില്ല സർ ചെറുതാ.
No problem. We can zoom. You can zoom.
Okay. Let us see here. I have here you can see I have divided the particular POs to a number of performance indicators. The competencies are the same competencies as I have demonstrated before. Demonstrate competence in basic mathematics, demonstrate competence in basic science, demonstrate competence in engineering fundamentals, and demonstrate competence in specialized engineering knowledge to the program. That is here it is civil engineering. Now for this particular competency, demonstrate competence in basic mathematics. I have attached two performance indicators. Apply mathematical techniques such as calculus, linear algebra, and statistics to solve problems. Apply advanced mathematical techniques to model and solve civil engineering problems. That is these are the indicators attached to this particular competency. Now, second competency is demonstrate the competence in basic sciences. They should be able to explain the basic principles of natural science as applied to engineering. And second indicator is they should be able to apply laws of natural science to engineering problems. Here I have attached a weightage for this performance indicator. So here you can see this is an application oriented PO. They should be able to apply. So the PO is application oriented. So for all the application oriented performance indicators, I have attached a weightage of 3. For example, here you can see this is explaining. The first indicator 1.2.1 is they should be able to explain the basic principles of natural science as applied to civil engineering, and they should be able to apply the laws of natural science to an engineering problem. So the second indicator 1.2.2, a weight of 3 has been attached, whereas for the other thing a weight of 1 has been attached. Now the third competency is demonstrate competence in engineering fundamentals. So here there are 3 indicators. Define fundamental engineering concepts, procedures to solve engineering problems, or define fundamental engineering concepts, procedures used to solve engineering problems. Similarly, describe fundamental engineering concepts and procedures used to solve engineering problems. And third indicator is apply the fundamental engineering concepts to solve, use to solve engineering problems. Okay. So here it is definition. Definition is a very low level of knowledge in Bloom's taxonomy. It comes in the understand in the memorizing level. So we are attaching a weightage of 1 for that particular indicator, and describing it comes in understanding. So we attach a weightage of 2 for it, and 3 they are applying fundamental engineering concepts since it is application CO. Application, this indicator is application oriented, and our PO is also application oriented. So we attach a weightage of 3 for this. Similarly, I have done the other thing. Okay. Now what I do is my COs are here. COs are here. Let me just reduce it so that I can see both CO and the performance indicators. Now, the first CO is explain fluid properties and pressure measurement techniques. Okay, that is our CO1. CO1, and these are the indicators attached to various competencies of PO1. Hope it is clear. Am I clear now?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So the first CO is we are explaining fluid properties and pressure measurement techniques. Now let us see how we can map CO1 to PO1. Let us come here, the CO1. Here, apply mathematical techniques such as calculus, linear algebra, and statistics to solve problems. Now, do this CO has any relation with this particular indicator? How do you feel? Can somebody give an answer? Explain fluid properties and pressure measurement techniques. Does it have any relation with this particular indicator?
It's related to application, right? But you have defined the CO as explains fluid properties and pressure measurements. So it
Sure,
has
no relation. So let me put a value of 0 here. This is 0. Okay. Now, second is also an application. Apply advanced mathematical techniques to model and solve civil engineering problems. It also doesn't have any relation, so we will make it as 0. Now, explain the basic principles of natural science as applied to engineering. So, probably explain the properties and pressure measurement techniques. Probably we'll be using some principles of natural science, isn't it? So, probably we can give, it is related, so we may give a 1 here.
One. Yes.
Apply the laws of natural science to an engineering problem. Definitely, it is not application oriented, so we put 0. Define fundamental engineering concepts or procedures used to solve engineering problem. Probably it may have a relation, right? So I give 1. Now describe fundamental engineering concepts, procedures used to solve engineering problems. It may have a relation, so let me give 1. Apply fundamental engineering concepts to solve engineering problem. Does it have any relation? So it is 0 again. Now define civil engineering concepts, procedures to solve engineering problem. What do you say? Define civil engineering concepts and procedures to solve engineering problems. Explain fluid properties. This is, we are explaining only fluid properties, and we explain pressure measurement techniques also. So this is an engineering procedure, isn't it? So probably we can write a 1 over here. Describe civil engineering concepts, procedures to solve engineering. Is it the same? I'm a duplicate there. And this is definition and this is description. Okay. It is 1. Okay. The mapping of CO1 with PO1. So here we can say we have a score of 32%. 32% score is 3 into 0 plus 3 into 0 plus 1 into 1 plus 3 into 0 plus 1 into 1 plus 2 into 1 plus 3 into 0 plus 1 into 1 plus 2 into 1 plus 3 into 0 divided by sum of this. That is 32%. So our definition is total is 100 percentage. If the percentage is less than 34 percentage, then the between say then the mapping is 1. If the percentage is between 34 to let us say 68, then the mapping is 2. Otherwise, if it is more than 68 percentage, then the mapping is 3. Okay, so let us say our that particular PO, we can have a very good mapping of that CO with this PO. So you can see here, this particular CO is mapped with a PO1 with a level of 1. Whereas whatever is given to me, you have mapped this particular CO to this particular PO at a level of 3, which is not possible. Am I right? Whereas if you do the same observation for the CO2, probably you may get a higher level of mapping. Probably you can map it with level 3 with this PO1. Okay. So like that, each of the COs, we can go to the next set of performance indicators for PO2. We can see to what level we can map this particular CO to this PO. Okay. So this is this way we can more bring the process of CO-PO mapping to a uniform or a methodical, a very systematic way of doing it. And this way, probably. And another thing is that when anybody can easily understand the justification of this mapping. Otherwise, defining the justification of mapping of CO with PO, it is very difficult. And probably, if somebody justify it, it may not be justified with a second person. So when it has come, when they see the justification of the CO's CO-PO mapping by using this. Now, another observation is that this particular CO is mapped with the PO1 with a level of 1. And I don't think you can map this particular CO to any PO with a level more than 1. So this CO, in fact, I will say this particular CO is not a good definition of CO because we don't have any POs. We don't have any POs. All the POs are at a higher level. For example, if you see your POs, basic, here it is application of knowledge. This is identification and analysis, design. You have to use engineering tools for testing and engineering practices for society and sustainability, project management, and lifelong learning. I don't think that you can map this particular CO with any of the PO at a level more than 1. So in that way, I will say this particular CO is waste. That's a waste CO. So now if the mapping is not more than 1, you can think of redefining this CO. How you can redefine the CO? You can refer to these performance indicators, and by using these performance indicators, probably we can elevate the level of this particular CO. Now, another use of this performance indicator is that when we define question, when we design assessment questions, so probably question can be designed based on these performance indicators. 2 weeks before, we had a visit to one of our programs by NBA, and they have say in a particular department, and they have seen all the assessment, the question papers, and they said these question papers are very low because most of the questions were defined or explained, described, etc. And they commented that none of your POs are knowledge based or at knowledge level. all the POs are at application level. So why, how you can assess your POs by using such a low level assessment tools. That was one of the comment given by the evaluators, NBA evaluators. So by based on these indicators, you can design very good assessment tools. I think this is enough to understand the mapping, how to map CO with PO. This exercise is enough. And if there is any questions on this, you can ask it now.
Thank you very much, sir. Is there any question you can ask now to Rahul, sir? He explained very well about COPO mapping in detail about with the indicators and competencies. It's very easy.
But sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Yes,
Please
please.
tell me. So I have seen the curriculum, that syllabus, that those outcomes are already defined there. So should we should we have a, whether we have a possibility to change that also? Can we change the COs already given in the syllabus?
Okay.
The,
In fact,
it is
in fact,
provided by SITTTR. That's why that is what they are asking.
Yeah.
yeah, I think based on we also have the same problem. Uh, KTU gives the COs in the syllabus, but those COs are not well defined COs. That is one thing. Second thing is that, so let us say I'm teaching a particular course. I have my own positives and negatives. Probably I can, if I'm teaching fluid mechanics, let us say. Now, I can teach fluid mechanics in a particular aspect in a better way than another teacher teach. Okay, so better I have my own COs based on my strengths, because I can deliver it based on my strength, or I can deliver in a better way based on my strengths. So I have to define my own COs to make this OBE very strong, OBE structure very strong. So what I recommend is that in our colleges, in almost all the engineering courses, I have worked in RIT, I've worked in GC Calicut, and I've given these lectures on this in many engineering colleges. And most of the colleges, they are for many courses, they are defining their own COs. And some teachers would like to use the COs given by the university, so they use the COs as given by the university. But no, most of some teachers, they define their own COs. I recommend each teacher should have. Then only, in fact, the OBE system should be very dynamic. That should the way of delivering a particular course will vary from teacher to teacher depending upon his strengths, isn't it? So COs should also be dynamic to reflect the teacher's strengths. So if you have freedom to, because that question can be answered only by officials from your side. I recommend from my side as an OBE expert, it is better to define COs by the concerned teacher.
The doubt is something that say SITTTR is already defined the COs, whether the NBA party will compare or will criticize the teacher by redefining the CO. That is the doubts from the lot of parts of things, because we are a tier 2 institution, and the COs are defined by the sitter or somebody there. Okay, maybe well competent, or some of them may not be. So such a CEO, we teachers think that, oh, this is the something like you cannot change. So I think that concept is wrong, because a teacher, a well equipped teacher, if he
In
thinks
fact,
Yeah, in fact, not suitable. I think it should be rewritten.
Yeah, it should be, it can be redefined. And I think another thing is that a CO definition is not done by an individual teacher. Suppose if I am teaching a subject, I propose a change, and that change shall be approved by a module committee, and that shall be approved by the program assessment committee. Then only that change in CO will become effective. So it is not just a teacher who redefine the COs. A teamwork is involved in that, and every teacher in a polytechnic is qualified enough to write his own course outcome. So there is nothing wrong in each teacher redefining the COs. And I have not seen the COs defined in your syllabus, but in our syllabus, most of the COs are written by those people who doesn't have any idea about OBE. So because of that, probably there is nothing wrong in redefining the COs.
Let me add something. If such a redefine is done by a teacher, it may be fed back to the sitter, right, sir?
It may be, sorry.
It may be intimated to the sitter. Means the teacher feedback can be communicated to the sitter, right, sir?
Maybe see, suppose you are teaching a particular subject this semester. Next semester, some other teacher is teaching it, and he feels that whatever COs you have defined is not appropriate to him. So he should have freedom to define, because he will be comfortable with a different, because he is going to deliver the subject. So he should have freedom to define his own COs. And of course, it cannot be done by a person alone. That should be approved by module committee and program assessment committee. That is there. CO definition and COPR mapping shall be approved by module committee and program assessment committee. So that need not be communicated to the syllabus framing authorities, because syllabus framing authorities, they are not supposed to define COs for the course, because COs shall be defined by the teacher who is delivering the course. That is the idea.
Yeah. So in summary, CO given by sitter is not a GO, right, sir?
Hello?
Sir, can I ask one question? Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Audible to me. I don't know, Rav sir.
Yes.
Your voice was breaking. I could not hear properly.
Sir,
Your
I will
voice was
repeat.
breaking. I could not hear you properly.
Okay. Now it is okay, sir?
Hello?
Sir, am I
Can you repeat it?
audible?
സിയാസാറിന് നമുക്ക് കേൾക്കാം, റോഡ് സാറിന് കേൾക്കുന്നില്ല എന്നാ പറയും.
Okay, okay. I understand.
Hello?
How, sir?
Am I
Is it
audible?
audible?
ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത് കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ?
കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ട്.
Sir, കേൾക്കാം.
കേൾക്കുന്നില്ല.
ഹലോ?
സർ, ഞാൻ കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റിൽ നിന്നാണ്.
ഹലോ?
ഹലോ?
I think Rav സാറിന്
ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത് കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. നിങ്ങൾ audible ആണോ?
Yes, yes, yes. റൗഫ് സാർ പറഞ്ഞത് കേൾക്കാം.
better, I think.
ഓക്കെ. റൗഫ് സാർ, എന്റെ സംശയം PO4 ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടാണ്.
ഹലോ?
PO4 ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടൊരു ചെറിയ സംശയമാണ് സാർ.
ഹലോ? പറഞ്ഞത് കേട്ടിട്ടില്ല.
റൗഫ് സാർ ഇപ്പൊ കേൾക്കാമോ?
Please go ahead.
PO4 ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട്, അതായത് എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ടൂൾസ് എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റേഷൻ ആൻഡ് ടെസ്റ്റിംഗ്, apply modern engineering tools and appropriate techniques to conduct standard test and measurements. ഇതില് കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ സാർ?
ഹലോ?
യെസ്, കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ സാർ?
ഹലോ?
അല്ല റൌഫ് സാറിന് കേൾക്കുന്നില്ല എന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു.
റൌഫ് സാറിന്റെ നെറ്റ്വർക്കാണ് പ്രോബ്ലം.
അതെ, റൌഫ് സാർ ആ പ്രസന്റേഷൻ ഒന്ന് ഓഫ് ചെയ്താല് ചിലപ്പോ. അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക്
എക്സൽ ഷീറ്റ് ഒന്ന് ഷെയർ ചെയ്ത് കിട്ടാൻ പറ്റുമോ? കാരണം അത് അത്ര റീഡബിൾ അല്ലായിരുന്നു.
Okay, we will arrange, sir.
ഓക്കെ.
റാവു സാർ ലൈനിലുണ്ടോ?
റൌഫ് സാർ ലൈനിലുണ്ട്, പക്ഷെ എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത് നെറ്റ്വർക്ക് ഇഷ്യൂ.
സുബൈർ സാർ ഒന്ന് ഷെയറിങ് വേറെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒന്ന് ഷെയർ ചെയ്യാം. അപ്പോ റൌഫ് സാറിന്റെ ഷെയറിങ് ക്യാൻസൽ ആയിക്കോളും.
ഞാൻ റൌഫ് സാറിന് പിഞ്ച് കഴിയില്ല. റൌഫ് സാറിനെ എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു തുടക്കത്തിലുള്ള ആ ഒരു പ്രശ്നമാണ് ഇപ്പോഴുള്ളത്. നമുക്ക് അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ ഏതാ അല്ല, റൌഫ് സാറിന്റെ പ്രസന്റേഷൻ മാത്രം. റൌഫ് സാർ ഇവിടെ ഉണ്ട്, പക്ഷെ എന്തോ വിഷയം. നാസർ അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് വൈൻഡപ്പ് ചെയ്യാം അല്ലെ? 9:50, 10 മണി.
അതെ. എത്ര മണിക്കാണ് നമ്മൾ ശരിക്കും ടൈം വെച്ചിരുന്നത്?
9:30 ആണ്. ഇപ്പൊ ഇനാഗുറൽ സെഷനും കൂടി ഉള്ളതുകൊണ്ടാണ്. അപ്പോ സാറേ, നമുക്ക് അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ ആ ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ നമുക്ക് നെക്സ്റ്റ് സെഷൻ ആവുമ്പോഴേക്കും. ഓക്കെ. Thank you all for participating in our FTP, Obe Nba NBA accreditation. We extend our heartfelt thanks to Abdul Rauf sir and Murugan sir for delivering a wonderful session in the beginning of our FTP, Obe Nba. And also I thank all dignitaries from various polytechnic colleges and engineering colleges for attending the same. Our next day's session will start the same time, 7:30 p.m. So ensure your participation before time. Okay, so YouTube live link also will be available in our WhatsApp group. You can watch in a later time if you have any doubt in the sessions taken by our faculty members today. So, Nasir sir, with the consent of our principal.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think we can sign off from today's session. Rauf sir, we are very much thankful for you. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Let's stop. Okay, let me wind up. Rauf sir, am I audible?
No, his mic is problem, right? He can hear what we are saying.
Okay.
Okay.
അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ഓക്കെ റൌഫ് സാർ, ഓക്കെ, ഒരുപാട് നന്ദിയുണ്ട്. നല്ല സെഷനായിരുന്നു. ഈ കോഴ്സ് ഔട്ട്കം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ശരിക്കും പലപ്പോഴും നമുക്ക് വളരെ കൺഫ്യൂഷൻ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്ന ഒരു സാധനമാണ്. ഈ ഇൻഡിക്കേറ്റേഴ്സും കോമ്പിറ്റൻസി ഒക്കെ വെച്ചിട്ട് എത്രയും ലളിതമായിട്ട് അത് ചെയ്യാവുന്നത് സാറിന്റെ സെഷനിൽ മനസ്സിലായി. ഓക്കെ, താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച്.
എനിക്കൊരു അഭിപ്രായം സാർ കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ടല്ലോ, ഈ കോമ്പിറ്റൻസിയും പെർഫോമൻസ് ഇൻഡിക്കേറ്ററും ആ പെർഫോമൻസ് ഇൻഡിക്കേറ്ററിന്റെ അസസ്മെന്റും ഇപ്പോഴും നമ്മുടെ അധ്യാപകർക്ക് കാര്യമായിട്ട് അറിയില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ പലപ്പോഴും COPO മാപ്പിംഗ് ഒരു നല്ല ഒരു റിസൾട്ട് തരുന്നുണ്ടെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ട് റൌഫ് സാറ് ശരിക്കും ഒരു സബ്ജക്റ്റിന്റെ COക്കെങ്കിലും ഇതുപോലെ ഈ 7 POന്റെയും പെർഫോമൻസ് ഇൻഡിക്കേറ്ററിനായിട്ട് അതിന്റെ ഒരു സെഷൻ, ഒരു എക്സ്ക്ലൂസീവ് സെഷൻ ശരിക്ക് പോളിടെക്നിക്കിലെ അധ്യാപകർക്ക് വളരെ അത്യാവശ്യമാണെന്ന് എനിക്ക് തോന്നിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. പ്രൊഫസർ സാറിന്റെ ഈ ഇതേ ക്ലാസ് KMCT എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് കോളേജിൽ എടുത്തപ്പോഴും ഞാൻ അരമണിക്കൂർ സമയം സാറിന് കിട്ടിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. സാറിന്റെ ഒരു സ്പെഷ്യലൈസ്ഡ് ഫീൽഡ് അതിനെ കേട്ടിട്ട് അതിന്റെ പെർസെന്റേജ് നോക്കിയിട്ട് ഈ പിഒയിലേക്കുള്ള മാപ്പിംഗ് ഡിഫൈൻ ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു ഹൈലി സയന്റിഫിക് മെത്തേഡാണ്. ഇത് പലപ്പോഴും ടീച്ചേഴ്സിന് അറിയാത്തത് വലിയൊരു പ്രോബ്ലം ആയിട്ട് നമ്മുടെ ഈ സൊസൈറ്റിയിൽ ഉണ്ട്. അത് സാറ് പ്രത്യേകമായിട്ടൊന്ന് കൺസിഡർ ചെയ്യണമെന്നുള്ള ഒരു റിക്വസ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ട്. താങ്ക് യു സാർ.
പ്രൊഫസർ, ഒരു ചോദ്യം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു ബീന കമാൽ. അത് പിന്നീട് നമുക്ക് അഡ്രസ് ചെയ്താൽ മതി. എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ആൻഡ് ഡിസ്ക്രൈബ് comes under understand level but weightage is assigned as 1. അത് ones and zeros മാത്രമാണ് സാർ അവിടെ അസൈൻ ചെയ്തെന്ന് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് അത് 1 കൊടുത്തത്.
അല്ല, വെയിറ്റേജ് 3 കൊടുത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്.
സാർ അതിൽ ഏതെല്ലാം ഇൻഡിക്കേറ്റേഴ്സിനെ ഏതെല്ലാം കോമ്പിറ്റൻസീസിനെ മാർക്ക് ചെയ്തു എന്നുള്ളത് വൺസ് ആൻഡ് സീറോസ് ഉപയോഗിച്ച് മാർക്ക് ചെയ്യുകയാണ് ചെയ്തത്. അത് ക്ലിയർ
അല്ല അങ്ങനെ അല്ല കേട്ടോ. അതങ്ങനെ സംഭവിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടാവാം. പക്ഷെ സംഭവിച്ചെന്ന് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നില്ല. ആ പിഒയിൽ പറയുന്നത് അപ്ലൈ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് നോളജ് എന്നായതുകൊണ്ട് സാറ് അതിന് എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ എന്നുള്ളത് അപ്ലൈയിലേക്ക് വരാത്തത് അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് മാപ്പിംഗ് കുറച്ചുള്ളത്. I think you got it. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
ഓക്കെ, നമുക്ക്
സംശയം പിന്നെ ആ ലാസ്റ്റ് സെഷൻ ഇല്ലേ, അതിൽ വേണമെങ്കിൽ റോസാനെ കൂടി ഉൾപ്പെടുത്തിയാൽ മതി. അപ്പൊ ആ പ്രശ്നം തീരും. താങ്ക് യു.
ഇപ്പൊ ഓക്കെ സർ.
ഓക്കെ, ഒരു ഞാൻ കണ്ടിരുന്നു. അതായത് ചോദ്യം explain and describe comes under understand level but the weightage assigned is 1. അതാണ് കാരണം നമ്മളുടെ POസിലൊന്നും ഒരു നോളജ് ലെവൽ അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡ് ലെവലിലുള്ള POs ഇല്ല. അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡിങ് ലെവലിലുള്ള POs ഇല്ലാത്തത് കൊണ്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ അതിന് കുറഞ്ഞൊരു വെയിറ്റേജ് കൊടുത്തിട്ടുള്ളത്. ഇപ്പോ നമുക്കൊരു അപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ ലെവലിലുള്ള PO ആവുമ്പോൾ അതിലേക്ക് ഒരു അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡിംഗ് ലെവലിൽ CO എഴുതി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമുക്ക് അതിനോട് അത്ര കറക്റ്റ് ഒരു വെയിറ്റേജ് 3 നമുക്ക് കൊടുക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല. അതൊരു 1 or 2 ഒക്കെ കൊടുക്കാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ, ഡിപ്പെൻഡിങ് അപ്പോൺ വാട്ട് ഈസ് കണ്ടന്റ് അനുസരിച്ച്. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഞാൻ അവിടെ വെയിറ്റേജ് കൊണ്ട് കൊടുത്തിട്ടുള്ളത്. ഐ ഹോപ്പ് ദാറ്റ് ക്ലിയർസ് ദ പ്രോബ്ലം.
ഓക്കെ സാർ, എന്നാൽ ഒറ്റ ചോദ്യം കൂടി ചോദിച്ചോട്ടെ. ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ ചോദിക്കാൻ ആഗ്രഹിച്ചതാണ്. PO4 എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ടൂൾസ് എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റേഷൻ ആൻഡ് ടെസ്റ്റിംഗ് ആണല്ലോ സാർ വരുന്നത്. അപ്ലൈ മോഡൽ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ടൂൾസ് ആൻഡ് അപ്രോപ്രിയേറ്റ് ടെക്നിക്സ് ടു കണ്ടക്ട് സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് ടെസ്റ്റ് ആൻഡ് മെഷർമെന്റ്. അതില് കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ബ്രാഞ്ചിന് പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ ലാബ് അല്ലാതെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഡിജിറ്റൽ ഇലക്ട്രോണിക്സ് ലാബ്, മൈക്രോ പ്രോസസർ ലാബ് തുടങ്ങിയ ലാബുകളാണ്. അപ്പൊ കൂടുതലും പ്രോഗ്രാമിംഗ് കോഴ്സുകൾ ആയതുകൊണ്ട് C പ്രോഗ്രാമിംഗ്, പൈത്തൺ പ്രോഗ്രാമിംഗ്, C++ പ്രോഗ്രാമിംഗ്, ഇതിലെല്ലാം നമുക്ക് PO4ലേക്ക് അതിന്റെ ലാബോറട്ടറി സെഷനുകൾ കോഴ്സുകളിലേക്ക് മാപ്പ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമോ? PO4ൽ നിന്ന് 4ലേക്ക്.
അതായത് ഇപ്പൊ ഇതില് അപ്ലൈ മോഡേൺ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ടൂൾസ് ആൻഡ് അപ്രോപ്രിയേറ്റ് ടെക്നിക്സ് ടു കണ്ടക്ട് സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് ടെസ്റ്റ് ആണ്. ഈ മോഡേൺ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ടൂൾ എന്താണ് എന്നുള്ളതാണ് നമ്മൾ അതിന് മനസ്സിലാക്കണം. നമ്മൾ അതിനെ ഒരു ഞാൻ അതിലെ പെർഫോമൻസ് ഇൻഡിക്കേറ്റേഴ്സ് ഒന്ന് ഷെയർ ചെയ്യേണ്ടി. അതായത്
എന്റെ കയ്യിലുണ്ട് സാർ.
അപ്പൊ അതില് ഞാൻ അത് പിന്നെ ഐഡന്റിഫൈ മോഡേൺ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ടൂൾസ് സച്ച് ആസ് കമ്പ്യൂട്ടർ എയ്ഡഡ് ഡ്രാഫ്റ്റിംഗ്, മോഡലിംഗ് ആൻഡ് അനാലിസിസ് ടെക്നിക്സ് ആൻഡ് റിസോഴ്സസ് ഫോർ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ആക്ടിവിറ്റീസ്. അപ്പൊ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ആക്ടിവിറ്റീസ് ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന മോഡേൺ, പൊതുവെ IT ടൂൾസ് എല്ലാം ഒരു പിന്നെ മോഡേൺ ടൂൾസ് ആയിട്ടാണ് പരിഗണിക്കപ്പെടുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ ആ രീതിയിൽ പിന്നെ ലാബിനെ കുറിച്ച് പറയുമ്പോൾ അതിലുള്ള ഒരു സംഗതി എന്താണെന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, ലാബിലിപ്പം ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ നമ്മൾ ലാബിലൊക്കെ സിഒ എഴുതുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ഒരുപാട് പിഒസിലേക്ക് മാപ്പ് ചെയ്യത്തക്ക വിധത്തിൽ ലാബിലെ സിഒസ് ഡിഫൈൻ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ
Yes, yes.
നമ്മളിപ്പോ ഞാനിപ്പോഴും എക്സാമ്പിൾ പറയുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് അറിയുന്ന എക്സാമ്പിളിനെ പറയാൻ പറ്റും. അപ്പൊ ഞാനൊരു സിവിൽ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ബാക്ക്ഗ്രൗണ്ടിൽ നിന്നായതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ പലപ്പോഴും സിവിൽ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗിന്റെ എക്സാമ്പിളാണ് പറയാം. അപ്പൊ നമുക്ക് ഒരു മെറ്റീരിയൽ ടെസ്റ്റിംഗ് ലാബ് ഉണ്ട്. ഈ മെറ്റീരിയൽ ടെസ്റ്റിംഗ് ലാബിൽ ഒരുപാട് മെറ്റീരിയൽസിന്റെ കോൺക്രീറ്റ് ആകട്ടെ സ്റ്റീൽ ആകട്ടെ ഒക്കെ അതിന്റെ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് പ്രോപ്പർട്ടീസ് ആണ് മെഷർ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അതേപോലെ സോയിൽ മെക്കാനിക്സ് ലാബിൽ സോയിലിന്റെ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് പ്രോപ്പർട്ടീസ് ആണ് മെഷർ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. സർവേ ലാബിൽ മെഷർമെന്റ്സ്, ഈ പ്രോസസ് എല്ലാ ലാബിലും സെയിം ആണ് ഒരു പ്രോസസ്. പിന്നെ അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് നമ്മൾ അതിൽ ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരുപാട്, നമ്മൾ അതിന് റിപ്പോർട്ട് എഴുതുന്നുണ്ട്, വൈവ കണ്ടക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, പിന്നെ അതേപോലെ ഒരു ടീം വർക്ക് ഉണ്ട് അതിനകത്ത്, അതേപോലെ എന്താ എത്തിക്സ് വരുന്നുണ്ട്. പിന്നെ അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരുപാട് സംഗതികൾ നമ്മൾ മെഷർ ചെയ്യാൻ സാധാരണ പിന്നെ കോഴ്സുകളിൽ നിന്ന് കിട്ടാത്ത ഒരുപാട് ആക്ടിവിറ്റീസ് ലാബിൽ നടക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ അതിന് ലാബിൽ സിഒസ് എഴുതുമ്പോൾ ഇതൊക്കെ കവർ ചെയ്യത്തക്ക വിധത്തിൽ സിഒസ് എഴുതി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമുക്ക് ഈ കരിക്കുലർ ഗ്യാപ്പ് ഒരു പരിധി വരെ നമുക്ക് അത് കുറക്കാൻ പറ്റും. അപ്പൊ അത് സാർ ഇപ്പൊ ലാബിലെ കാര്യം പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് അതിന്റെ കൂടെ ഒന്ന് ആഡ് ചെയ്തത്.
അതെ അതെ, അതായത് ഇപ്പോ ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഇവിടെ മെക്കാനിക്കൽ വർക്ക്ഷോപ്പ് ഉണ്ട്. അതിലൊരു വെൽഡിംഗ് സെഷനില് വർക്കുകൾ ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് അതിലൊരു സിഇഒ ഉണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ അവിടെ അത്രയ്ക്ക് കോംപ്ലക്സ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അഡ്വാൻസ്ഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള മോഡേൺ മെഷീനറീസ് ഒന്നും ഉപയോഗിക്കാത്തത് കൊണ്ട് അവർക്കൊരു സംശയം പറഞ്ഞു. അവിടെ PO4 മാപ്പ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ലായിരുന്നു.
PO4 ഇപ്പൊ ഒരു വെൽഡിംഗ് ലാബൊക്കെ ആകുമ്പോൾ PO4 നമുക്ക് മാപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്നതിൽ ലിമിറ്റേഷൻസ് ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും. അതൊരു മോഡേൺ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ടൂൾ അല്ലാത്തതുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് മാപ്പ് ചെയ്യാൻ ലിമിറ്റേഷൻ ഉണ്ടാവും.
ഓക്കെ.
പക്ഷെ അതിന് നമുക്ക് മാപ്പിംഗ് വരുന്നത് അതിന് നമുക്ക് നമ്മൾ പല അതിലുള്ള കോമ്പിറ്റൻസീസ് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് അതിലുള്ളത് apply modern engineering tools and appropriate techniques to conduct standard tests and measurements.
അങ്ങനെയുണ്ട്.
Apply modern engineering tools and appropriate techniques to conduct standard tests and measurements എന്നുണ്ടല്ലോ.
അതെ.
അപ്പോ അതില് പിന്നെ ഈ സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് ടെസ്റ്റ് ആൻഡ് മെഷർമെന്റ്സ് കണ്ടക്ട് ചെയ്യലും നമുക്കൊരു കോമ്പിറ്റൻസ് ആയിട്ട് എടുക്കാം.
ഓക്കെ.
ആ രീതിയിൽ നമ്മൾ അതിന്റെ ഇൻഡിക്കേറ്റേഴ്സ് ഡിഫൈൻ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമുക്ക് അതിനോട് PO4 നമുക്ക് ഒരു മാപ്പിംഗ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. അതെ, ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും.
ഓക്കെ സർ. ഓക്കെ, താങ്ക് യു.
ഓക്കെ സർ, അപ്പൊ എന്തായാലും വളരെ നന്ദി. ഓക്കെ. അപ്പൊ ഇനി ലാസ്റ്റ് സെഷനില് സാറിനെ വിളിക്കാം. എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു ഓപ്പൺ ഡിസ്കഷൻ ഉണ്ട് ലാസ്റ്റ് സെഷനിൽ, ലാസ്റ്റ് ഡേയില്. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പൊ ശരി സാർ. ഓക്കെ, ഗുഡ് നൈറ്റ്.
താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച് സർ. താങ്ക് യു. സർ മീറ്റിംഗ് എൻഡ് ചെയ്തേക്കട്ടെ.